Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In this lesson of the Noorania principle, we're going to speak about three letters that sound very similar, which is the, za, and va. So during my teaching of Noorania principle to English speaker, I always see that they confuse these three letters together, which is the, za, and va. So in this lecture, inshallah, we're going to speak how to differentiate between them. So dal is this letter here, this is dal, and this is za, and this is va. So these three letters are the one that confuses most people. Dal, za, and va. So two things you have to keep in mind. Is the letter thin or thick? Or in Arabic we call muraqqaq or mufakham. Mufakham, which is thick, is that letter here. So this letter here is mufakham, so it is va. These two letters are thin, dal and za. The next thing is, do you get your tongue out or not? In two of these letters you will get your tongue out, which is dal and va. In the za you don't get your tongue out. So again, of these three, only one is thick, which is va. Of these three, two you get your tongue out, is dal and va. So let's now summarize that. So dal is tongue out and thin. So dal, it is thin letter, muraqqaq, which means thin, and your tongue is out. Za is your tongue is in, you don't get your tongue out, and it's thin letter. Va is both thick letter and your tongue is out. So dal is thin, you see I'm saying the, and it's my tongue out. Za is the tongue in and thin. Va is the tongue out and thick. So what does this mean? Means the only difference between dal and za is your tongue. So the only difference between this one and this one, the dal and the za, is the tongue. So this one is exactly similar to this one, but in dal you have to get your tongue out. So this is the and this is za. So the only difference between this is your tongue is out. And the only difference between dal and va is the thickness. So both are tongue out, but this is thick, va, and this is thin, the. So both tongue out, the dal and the va, but this is thin, the, and this is thick, va. You have to get like we call it mufakham, thick, like it's like honorable, va. So this and this, your tongue is out, but this is thick, this is thin. Both this are thin, so this you get your tongue out. So only difference between dal and za is the tongue. This is tongue out, this is tongue in. The only difference between dal and va is the thickness. This is thin and this is thick. And of course, the za and the va is completely different because this is tongue in and thin, this is tongue out and thick. So now let's do some practice, and if you see here in lesson 4, which we did before, actually the author Sheikh Nuruddin Al-Haqqani, may Allah have mercy on him, put the three letters behind each other so you can make notice the difference between them. So now we will focus on them as the rules that we said before. So this is first the za, and this is the va, and this is the dal. We said this is thin, tongue in, thick, tongue out, thin, tongue out. Za, zi, zu, va, vi, vu, the, the, thu. So za fatha za kasra zi, za dhamma zu, za zi zu, va fatha va kasra dhi, va dhamma vu, va dhi ذال فتحة ذال كسرة ذي ذال ضمة ذو ذي ذو. So this is with the harakat. Again, thin tongue in, thick tongue out, thin tongue out. ذا ذي ذو ذا ذي ذو ذا ذي ذو. So here again, let's do a practice in lesson 5, which is the tanween. And also you see the author put them together, but this the reverse order now. So ذال فتحتين then, ذال كسرتين then, ذال ضمتين then, ذن, ظا فتحتين ظا كسرتين ظن, ظا ضمتين ظن, زا فتحتين زا كسرتين زن, زا ضمتين زن. So again, this thin with your tongue out, va thick with your tongue out, za thin with your tongue in. So this will be then. So you get your tongue out and you make it thin. Then, and this is dhon. This is the same exact as the dal, but you make it thick. So instead of then, it will be von. If you notice, your tongue is out in both of them. Then and dhon. Then and von. The only difference is this is thin and this is thick. And then this is zen. So this is thin and your tongue in. So the difference between this one and this one is your tongue. Then zen. And this is von. So thick tongue out, thin tongue in, thin tongue out. Then, von, zen. Then, zen. Then, von. So the only difference between this one and this one is the thickness. The only thickness between the dal and the za is the tongue out, tongue in. Then, von, zen. Then, win, zin. Thin tongue out, then. Thick tongue out, win. Then, win. Thin tongue in, zin. Then, win, zin. Then, win, zin. Same thing. Dhun, vun, so the thickness. Dhun, vun. So you see this is thick. Vun, this is thin. Dhun, this is muraqqaq, and this is mufakham. In Arabic, this is thin and thick. Dhun, vun. The same exact pronunciation, only the thickness. Dhun, vun. And this is zun. So if you this and this are exactly the same as your tongue. Dhun, zun. Dhun, zun. Dhun, zun. And this is thick and tongue out. Vun. So this one and this one, they differ in both the tongue and the thickness. Vun, zun. Thick, thin. Out, in. Vun, zun. Now let's keep practice now in lesson 8, the mad. ذا فتحة ألف سكون ذا ضمة واو سكون زو ذا كسرة يا سكون زي زو زي. And then ظا فتحة ألف سكون ظا ضمة واو سكون ظو ظا كسرة يا سكون ظي ظي. And then ذا الفتحة ألف سكون ذا ضمة واو سكون ذو ذا كسرة يا سكون ذو ذي. So if you notice here the same, you will apply the same principle. Thin tongue in, thick tongue out, thin tongue out. So this is za, and this is va, and this is the. So this and this are exactly similar. The only difference is the tongue. This is tongue in, za, and this is tongue out, the. So you get your tongue out in between your teeth. The. So this is the, and this is za. So the exactly the same, only the tongue. The, and this is va. This is thick and tongue out. So the difference between this one and this one is the thickness. Va, the. So the thick tongue out, thin tongue in, thin tongue out. Zazuzi, vavuzi, vaduzi. So this is za, va, the. So this one and this one exactly similar, but this is tongue out, this is tongue in. This one and this one exactly similar. This is thin, this is thick. Now let's do the last practice, which is the one for the lean. So again, ذال and ذا and then va, thin tongue out, thin tongue in, thick tongue out. ذال فتحة واو سكون ذو، ذا فتحة يا سكون ذي، ذو ذي. And this is ذا فتحة واو سكون ذو، ذا فتحة يا سكون زي، ذو زي. And this is ظا فتحة واو سكون ظو، ظا فتحة يا سكون ضي، ظو ضي. So this is ذو ذي، ذو زي، ظو ضي. So again, same thing, this, ذو, and then this is ذو. Exactly the same, no difference. This one you get your tongue out in between your teeth, ذو, and this is you keep your tongue in, ذو. This is thick and the tongue out, ظو. So this is ذو and this is ظو. So they are exactly similar, but this is thin and this is thick, ظو. This is ذو. And the same thing here is this is they and this is they, so they are equal, but this you get your tongue out in between the teeth, they, and this is your tongue in, they, and this is your tongue out and thick, they. So the difference between this one and this one is the thickness. This is thin, they, and this is thick, they. I hope this lesson help you to differentiate between ذال, ذا, and ظا.